And welcome back again. This is elementary school day 3 for VBS on Power Up. And you've made it to day 3. We are good to go. So jumping right in, we are going to start with our application activity for day 3. Today's focus is going to be Jesus' baptism. And our bottom line is going to be God sent Jesus to save us. So first activity is going to be a rescue mission. We're going to need a hula hoop. We're going to need some index cards and a pen. Again, everything's going to be in and around your workplace here. So you're going to ask your students to give you an example of things that people say when they need to be rescued or if they need help in some way. And you're going to write down each answer on an index card. You need to have at least enough index cards to match the amount of kids that you have in your team. So here today we have 8. We would need 8 index cards with 8 different sayings or things that people say. If they're getting stuck and they can't think of anything, you're not getting any different ones, you can kind of help. There's some prompts that you can use on here, like I've fallen and I can't get up, could be something that you put on here. Once you have all 8 done, or as many as you have team players, you're going to hand one to each player. Okay, that's going to be their rescue word that they're going to use. All right, we're going to form 2 teams at that point. And we're going to have a team here, and we've got another team over here. Okay, so if for some reason you don't have enough kids on your team to form 2 teams, you can keep it as one group. Maybe you only have 5 kids that day. You can just make one team, and you can just kind of race against your own time for what we're going to be doing. But hopefully you have enough. You've got 2 teams. Each team is going to have a hula hoop. For today, we're just going to show you what one team is going to do. So, one player from each team is going to have a hula hoop. So we're going to have Princess over here. She's got the hula hoop. So each person over here has a card of what their rescue saying is. And we're going to tell the players with the hoops to run to their team and rescue someone by placing the hoop over top of them. So these people are going to be shouting out, "Help, I've fallen and I can't get up." Maybe this one says, "I can't swim." Maybe this one says, "Call 911." And they're going to be shouting these things. And the person with the hula hoop is going to come over, and they're going to put this hula hoop over one of them, and they're going to rescue that person and bring them on over to this side. Then we're going to switch, and the person that was just rescued is going to get the hula hoop turn. And these people are going to still be shouting their rescue sayings, "Help, help, I need help." And the new person with the rescue hula hoop is going to rescue the person they're choosing. That person's going to come over here. They're going to take the hula hoop, and then they're going to rescue until everyone is on the rescue side. And it's a race between teams, so of course, you know, you'll see which team got done first. All right. Once you've been rescued, they don't have to call that saying out anymore. So once they're on the rescue side, they don't need to keep shouting, "Help, help, help." Only the people that have not been rescued yet. So at that point, kind of come back to your circle. We're going to come back and have some conversation. Maybe ask the kids when is a time that they've been in a real situation that they've needed help. Maybe ask, who came to your rescue? How did you feel about the person that did rescue you? And then kind of go into, what does Jesus rescue us from? And how does he rescue us? There's, again, more wrap up and what to say to the kids, just to kind of tie that all in. But it kind of gives them that start of idea of that we need rescuing, and Jesus is the only person that can do that for us. Next up, we're going to do our memory verse activity. This one is going to be fun. We are going to have a ball pit ball. That's always was lots of fun. We're just going to have one. For the group, we're going to be sitting in a circle. We're going to have our Bible, and we're going to open it up to where it's marked for our Bible verse again. And we're going to pass this ball around, similar to hot potato. It's not really going to be, where someone gets out at the end, but you're going to pass it back and forth with each word of the memory verse. So, God's power has given us everything we need to live a godly life. Now, here's the kicker though. The person that gets to say the word power is going to hold it over his head when he says the word. So it kind of gets a little extra fun in there. So they're just going to keep passing it back and forth. Maybe start out slow and speed up as you go. Just remember, when they get to say God's power, they get to lift that up and really emphasize that word with the ball. And you're just going to keep going around until you get to the end of that verse, until you feel that they really have kind of started to memorize that as they go this week. There's some more information about what you say at the end of that to kind of get them learning about that. And then also our bottom line again tonight for day 3 is going to be God sent Jesus to save us. And as we're talking about that, all of these application memory verse activities really kind of lead into what the bottom line is. And so that'll help them remember that as well. There is some more information on the bottom of that page about travel time, things to ask them, things to talk about with them as you're going from one place to another. The last application activity is going to be making a dove. We're going to have dove copter activity pages. Each child will get one of these. Okay, so each page. They're going to use their scissors, also on your workboard here, and they're going to cut, make sure I say this right, they're going to cut along the solid lines. Now, I just read here, the solid lines, not the dove. We're not cutting out the dove. We're going to cut on the solid lines of the rectangle here, and then down here between the wings. There is going to be an instruction page. You might want to look at it ahead of time just so you have an idea, so we don't have too many broken doves. And this will kind of show you exactly how to make it, where they're cutting, how to fold it, and then what to do with the paper clip. So kind of look at that ahead of time. But you're going to have them cut out on this solid lines here. We're going to have some crayons for them or markers so they can color it if they would like to. And then we're going to follow, again, the instructions so they can fold it into a dove. So I don't know if you can see it here, but on your instruction page, it will show you how to fold that up so it looks like a dove. There's going to be a paper clip at the bottom, and that will be included on your workboard as well. They can hold it above their heads, release them, and then they're going to twirl to the floor, kind of like the little helicopters from the maple trees. We're going to encourage the kids to let their dove copters remind them of the time that God sent his spirit to be with Jesus and said, "This is my son and I love him and I am very pleased with him." And it kind of gives the reference to there too. So as they're working, so they're going to be working cutting, not a whole lot of talking while they're doing that. So that's a great time for you to include some of these next prompting questions for you that review the Bible story. And it kind of has some points here that you can emphasize so they kind of really remember about the Bible story here. There's also a portion at the bottom about what you say. And, you know, it's always good to be able to make it personal. When you can give an example from your life that you're asking the kids, well, what do you think about this? And give an example of this. They love hearing when you can give an example in your life that's happened. Even if it sounds silly, they love hearing that. And it's great to make it personal. Give them an example of that. Tell how Jesus has made a difference in your life, that kind of stuff. Really good for that. Another time to really get that bottom line into them is going to be that God sent Jesus to save us. It's got all kinds of reminders on your lesson plan for that. One thing here for when you come back after large group and after your stations and your storytelling, you're going to come back to small group for your closing and reflection before the large group closing. This is going to have a little bit extra on day 3. We are still going to be doing our maps and our stickers and our prayer boxes, but before we do that, you're going to pass out a level up activity page, which are right here, and you're going to say that God sent Jesus to save us. As we learn more about Jesus, it's like going from level to level in a video game. So we talk about how level 1, and it says on here, this is the first time I've heard about how to have a relationship with Jesus. We might be getting kids here at VBS this year that this is the first time they've been in a church. This maybe a friend brought them or they've just moved to town. This might be the first time they've heard anything about this. And maybe that's where they're at. Level 2 is I have questions about Jesus and want to know more. Maybe they've been here for a little bit of time and they have questions about it. So all your kids in your group might be at different levels. And it might not be depending on their age. You know, the littles may have been here for a long time and they know a lot about Jesus and God and how they want, how they're supposed to act and live their life. And you may have an older child, but this is their first time. So it's not necessarily by age range. It's really just where they're at in their lives. Level 3 is I want to talk to someone about how to take the next step. Level 4 is I've made a decision to trust Jesus, but I've never been baptized. And level 5 is I've made a decision and have been baptized. So you may have a child in each of these different levels, and that's okay. All right. So, something to tell them is going to be, we may not understand everything now. That's okay. If you'd like to talk with someone about how you can go to the next level in your relationship with Jesus, you can talk to your team leader, another VBS leader, your parent, or whoever takes care of you at home, someone you know that follows Jesus and that a person that you trust. Kind of giving them that opportunity that they can ask questions to a person that's safe for them. On the back of this card, they're going to write what level they believe they are. So not everyone has to see their answer. That's okay. So they're going to write on the back side what level they think that they're at. And they're going to fold this paper up and put it in their question mark box that we made at the beginning of the week. At that point, you can kind of divide students up between small group leader and small group assistants. And then you can go ahead and follow up with the power of prayer cards like we've done before, picking a different way to pray, and direct them to focus their prayers around the statement for today that God sent Jesus to save us. So each day we want to make sure that the prayer, the Power Up prayer cards are based on kind of the bottom line. And then at that point, you can take your map that you've had through the week. They can write down one word they believe best describes God, attach the sticker to the map for day 3, and again, our day is in the books. So have a great one.